Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Steelers interested in big NFL draft move, report. Draft pundits have suggested the Pittsburgh Steelers are a prime candidate to move up the NFL draft board in the first round this spring to select a quarterback. But on Monday, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported a Steelers trade back in the first round is much more likely. Schefter included the Steelers on a list with 7 other teams that are exploring trade-back possibilities. The Steelers, number 21, are among the teams interested in moving back from their first-round slot, Schefter wrote. That list also includes the Jaguars, 5, Panthers, 8, 49ers, 11, Falcons, 15, Seahawks, 18, Buccaneers, 19, and Vikings, 24, who currently have 4 picks, the fewest any team. There has been, however, a lack of teams willing to trade up, at least so far. Drafting later than most of the other teams on Schefter's list, the Steelers have fewer trade-back options. General Manager Omar Khan will have to find a 2024 playoff team that wants to move up the board to number 21 in order to trade back in the first round. The other possibility for the Steelers is to give up number 21 overall for a non-playoff team's early second-round choice, among other draft picks. Of course, in that situation, the Steelers very likely won't make a selection on day 1. The 2025 NFL Draft will begin Thursday, April 24. If the 2025 season started today, Mason Rudolph would be Pittsburgh's starting quarterback. While some in Steelers Nation have called for the organization to move forward with him as the starter rather than sign Aaron Rodgers, entering 2025 with Rudolph as the team's projected starter is not at all ideal. So, in all likelihood, what the Steelers do with their 2025 first-round pick will have everything to do with the team's future plan behind center. If a first-round graded quarterback they like becomes available, via a trade-up or at number 21 overall, the Steelers will likely draft him. If not, the Steelers could move back to acquire more draft capital. Khan sent the team's 2025 second-round pick to the Seattle Seahawks for wide receiver DK Metcalf. So, a move back would recoup some of that lost capital. There has been speculation about whether Pittsburgh would trade up to secure a quarterback, and remember, it already has traded its second-round pick to Seattle for wide receiver DK Metcalf, leaving the franchise short-handed heading into the draft's early rounds. This makes it more likely the Steelers will trade back in the draft, not up, wrote Schefter. The Steelers are in a bit of a difficult draft spot for a couple reasons. The first is the wide-ranging projections on Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Schefter reported the Steelers are preparing in case they have the option to draft Sanders. To do that, the Steelers must hold on to the number 21 overall selection. Mike Tomlin's team could increase its chances of landing Sanders with a trade-up. But the second problem the Steelers face is no second-round pick. Without an early day 2 selection, they could have limited options to move up the board. Sanders also could go as high as number 3 to the New York Giants. But even if Sanders is gone by number 21 overall, the Steelers not having a second-round pick is going to impact the team's draft decision. If they pass on a quarterback, they very well might not have another chance to get one until round 3, Schefter wrote. It accentuates the pressure on this pick. A trade back would alleviate some of that pressure. After a move back, the Steelers would have more picks to play with, potentially one of which they could spend on a quarterback. Steelers drafting quarterback with highest upside urged by NFL Insider. The 2025 NFL Draft is quickly approaching, and the Pittsburgh Steelers might have to consider drafting their quarterback of the future. The team has been in talks with Aaron Rodgers, but there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding where he will be playing in the 2025 season. To shore up the position, Steelers insider Ray Fittipaldo talked about what the team's draft strategy should look like on a recent episode of the North Shore Drive podcast. If you're going to take one in this draft, you might as well take the one that has the highest upside, Fittipaldo said. Other than Cam Ward, I think Tyler Shaw is that guy. There are a number of quarterbacks that the Steelers could go on in day 2 of the 2025 draft, but Fittipaldo thinks that Shaw is the guy whose ceiling could be the highest, which could be an intriguing thing to gamble on. He threw for just under 3,200 yards and 23 touchdowns in the 2024 season with Louisville. But that might not tell the whole story, as he ran a 4.63 in the 40-yard dash at the NFL Draft Combine, and Fittipaldo thinks offensive coordinator Arthur Smith won't be able to pass that up. Please don't tell me if you ran a 4.61 that a guy like Arthur Smith isn't going to dial some things up for you and take advantage of that in the running game, Fittipaldo said. I'm thinking like Ryan Tannehill type of stuff here. Good passer, can make some plays, can get a first down for you. The Steelers' quarterback situation is a bit of a question mark at the moment, so drafting some insurance like Shaw could be something for the team to consider. Steelers tied to Arch Manning in head-turning quarterback rumor. Most teams in the NFL have either already addressed their off-season quarterback needs or plan to do so this week at the NFL Draft. For those belonging to the second category, the selection of a play caller will likely come with some sort of long-term vision. The Pittsburgh Steelers do not find themselves penciled into those groups. They signed Mason Rudolph in free agency but watched both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields walk to separate teams. Pittsburgh has also taken part in the Aaron Rodgers waiting game, which has proven a fruitless effort. That leaves the draft as the default option for them to acquire any additional quarterback insurance. But one insider has advised fans to not expect any major answers to these questions in the coming days. Steelers radio network host Jerry Dulac posited on The Rich Eisen show this week that the team has its sights set on identifying their next franchise quarterback in the 2026 draft. Rich, I firmly believe that the Steelers are all in on a quarterback in 2026, Dulac said. That is based off what I have heard and what I have been told. Looking ahead, next year's class will have some enticing quarterback prospects potentially headlined by Arch Manning. From that angle, another year could be worth the wait. And of course, unbeknownst to many, Manning, the University of Texas prospect, might not even come out next year. Meanwhile, Steeler Nation may grow impatient with more of the same in 2025. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired, the Steelers have not shown an ability to nail down a replacement at QB1. Several different experiments have led them to nothing. The 2025 class is relatively underwhelming at the position. Beyond the top 2 or 3 prospects, the Steelers would be ill-advised banking their future on any of the remaining quarterbacks. Now that does not mean they should avoid the position altogether. But their franchise quarterback will likely not be found this spring. And you fan? What do you think about Arch Manning's situation? Write to us in the comments.